Hello students. In this chapter electric charges and fields part 2. In this video we will study about the following topics, that is electric field intensity due to a point charge, electric dipole moment, axial and equatorial points of dipole, electric field intensity at any axial point due to a dipole, electric field at equatorial point due to a dipole in uniform electric field, electric flux and Gauss law. Okay, now first we will learn about what is electric field intensity. So electric field intensity of an electric field at a point due to a source charge is defined as the electrostatic force experienced per unit positive charge acting on a vanishingly small test charge placed at that point. So mathematically, how we will write it? Mathematically we will write it as vector E is equal to limit Q0. What is this Q0? Q0 is the test charge. It is very small test charge. So vanishingly small test charge. So Q0 tending to 0. Force experienced by the test charge, and this is the divided by Q0. Q0 is the test charge. So this this electric field intensity always originates from positive to negative charge. And what is the SI unit? SI unit is Newton per Coulomb. Now we will study about the electric field intensity due to a point charge. So first we will consider a charge. Suppose this charge is Q. So consider a charge Q. This is the charge Q. This charge is kept at origin of X, Y and Z plane. Okay. Now there is one more test charge. Test charge, you all know, it is a very small charge which has a negligible field. Its field does not affect the field of this source charge. Okay. So this Q0 test charge is located at P. Okay. Now let R is the position vector of this charge Q0. Okay. Now how we will write this position? We will write the position of Q0 at P as X, Y, Z. Now position vector of P can be written as vector R Xi plus Yj plus Zk, and its modulus will be equal to R is equals to root over of X square plus Y square plus Z square. So now we will find out the force experienced by Q0 due to Q. Okay. So force experienced by Q0 will be found by Coulomb's law. So here you can see F is equals to K Q0 Q upon R square and unit vector. Then electric field intensity is force per unit charge. So what is value of force over here? K Q0 Q upon R square and unit vector R, and divided by Q0. So Q0 will be cancelled. So what will be the value of electric field intensity? The value will be K Q R cap upon R square. So we have written this vector, unit vector R, in the form of vector R upon modulus of R. Okay. Next is what is the value of K? K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Now we can also resolve this electric field intensity into its components along x, y and z axis. So how we will write? We will write in this way. Electric field intensity along x axis is Ex. It can be written as k q xi upon x square plus y square plus z square to the power 3 by 2. Similarly, we can write electric field intensity along y direction will be equal to k q y j cap divided by x square plus y square plus z square to the power 3 by 2, and electric field intensity along z direction can be written as k q z k cap divided by x square plus y square plus z square to the power 3 by 2. Now the net electric field will be E equals to Ex I cap plus Ey j cap plus Ez k cap. Now let electric field intensity along x axis makes an angle alpha with the horizontal, and this electric field intensity along y axis makes an angle beta, and along z axis makes an angle gamma. So we can write cos alpha is equals to Ex upon modulus of E, cos beta is equals to Ey upon modulus of E, cos gamma is equals to Ez modulus of E. Next we will study about electric dipole and dipole moment. So what is an electric dipole? Dipole means two poles. Okay. So electric dipole is a pair of equal and opposite point charges which are separated by a very small distance. It is known as an electric dipole. An ideal electric dipole is just a point dipole. It has negligible size, right? And this the strength of a dipole is known as dipole moment. So here you can see there are two charges, Q plus Q and minus Q. They are separated by a distance 2a. Now this constitute a dipole. So if we will find out the total charge of dipole, so here total charge of the dipole is 0, but field due to dipole is not 0. We will see further during the explanation that the field due to a dipole is not 0, whereas the total charge of dipole is 0. And the dipole moment, what is the dipole moment? Dipole moment is the strength of dipole. It is a vector quantity. So mathematically, how we can write this dipole moment? We can write this dipole moment as the product of magnitude of either charge and the perpendicular distance between them. So here in this case the perpendicular distance is 2a. Okay, so how we, in the simplest form, we can write dipole moment as magnitude. Magnitude means it is always positive. So Q into the perpendicular distance. What is the perpendicular distance? It is 2a. So Q into 2a is the perpendicular distance. Now here you can see the orientation of this dipole is different. So orientation is different. So here in this case, how we will write? This is magnitude of any of these charges. These are equal and opposite charges. In both the cases, these are equal and opposite charges. So the magnitude will be the same. So Q, and what is the perpendicular distance? This is the perpendicular distance over here for them. Okay, this is the perpendicular distance between these two dipoles. Fine. Now, direction of dipole moment is from negative to positive charge. What? The direction of dipole moment is from negative to positive charge. SI unit is coulomb meter. Now some points important for studying about the dipoles. That first is all distances are measured from the midpoint of the dipole. The distances are measured from the midpoint of the dipole. Suppose we have to measure the distance of P, so we will measure this distance from the mid of the dipole. Okay, then what is an ideal dipole? Ideal dipole is charges of large dipole separated by very small distance. Okay, ideal dipole is the charges of large dipole separated by a very small distance, and Q is very large. Okay, then what is a quadrupole? Two dipoles are linearly arranged such that one of the like charges overlap. So here you can see this is a dipole, minus Q and plus Q. This is a dipole, and there is one more dipole. So how they are linearly arranged? So these are linearly arranged. They are parallel to each other. But in this case, you can see this plus Q is overlapping with the plus Q of the another dipole. So here this is called the positive overlapping, or we can say this as positive quadrupole. Similarly, we can also make a negative quadrupole. Next is the axial points and equatorial points of a dipole. So what is axial point? Any point lying on the axis of the dipole. So here you can see this is a positive charge, this is a negative charge of the dipole, and this is the axis. So this point P is the axial point. This point P is the axial point. Any point lying on this axis will be the axial point. And what is the equatorial point? Equatorial point is point lying on the perpendicular bisector of the line of dipole. Okay, point lying on the perpendicular bisector of the line of dipole. It is termed as equatorial point. Okay, now next is electric field at any axial point due to a dipole. So here you can see that at position A and B there are two charges. At A it is minus Q and at B it is plus Q. So it constitutes a dipole which is separated by a distance to A. Now suppose we wish to find out electric field due to a dipole at position P. This is the point P. Okay, right? So what we will do, we'll find out electric field at P due to this charge, electric field intensity. So electric field at P. So EPA can be written as K Q upon X plus A whole square. Now this is the distance. We have already discussed that all the distances are measured from the center of the dipole. So this is the midpoint or the center of the dipole. If this length is 2A, so this length will be A and this length will also be A. Okay, now this distance means the position of P from this dipole can be taken as the distance x. Okay, so how we will find out electric field at P due to charge at A? So electric field at P due to A can be written as K Q upon X plus A whole square, and the direction will be along PA. Now this distance is X plus A. Why this is X plus A? This distance plus this remaining distance is A. Next, electric field at P due to B can be written as KQ upon X minus A whole square. So this at this position, so what we will do, x minus a whole square, and this direction will be along Pn. So this is along Pn and this is along this. EPA is along this direction, EPB is along this direction. Now we know that electric field due to the positive charge will be more than the electric field due to the negative charge. So net electric field, what will be the net electric field? How we will find out? So E net is equals to EP is equals to EPB minus EPA, and this will be along the PN. So net electric field will be electric field due to discharge minus electric field due to discharge, negative charge. Fine. So we'll write down, we'll put the values from these two. So we'll take out KQ as common, and inside the bracket it will be 1 upon x minus a whole square minus 1 upon x plus a whole square. We'll solve it and we'll find out that on solving this we'll find out EP is equals to KQ within the bracket x plus a whole square minus x minus a whole square divided by x square minus a square whole square. We'll expand these two, and after expansion and cancellations we'll find out that electric field at P is equals to KQ upon 4AX, KQ into 4AX upon x square minus a square whole square. We can break this 4AX in the form of 2 into 2AX. Okay, so why we are breaking this? So that we can write down electric field in the form of dipole moment. So what is dipole moment? P is equals to Q into 2A. Okay, so electric field at axial point due to a electric dipole can be written as, we have substituted the value of 2AQ as P here. So it can be written as 2kpx upon x square minus a square whole square, and this and the direction will be along Pn. Fine. Now further we can see that if x is much more larger than a, okay, so if the value of x is much higher than a, so we can omit a. Okay, in this term we can omit a. So how we can write as E axial, it can be written as 2p x into k divided by x square whole square, or we can write it as 2kpx upon x to the power 4, cancel this x, and here it will be x cube, so 2kp upon x cube. So here you can see that electric field is directly proportional to the cube of the, inversely proportional to the cube of the distance of the point from the dipole, and it is directly proportional to the dipole moment, and this it is directed from minus q to plus q. Okay, next we will study about electric field at an equatorial point. So for this, let us see this diagram. So here you can see that there are two dipole. There is a dipole with two charges, plus q and minus q, separated by a distance 2a. Let point P at this point P there is one test charge q. Okay, so this q is located at the equatorial point. What is the equatorial point? This is the distance of dipole 2a, and this is the perpendicular bisector. So a point lying on the perpendicular bisector is the equatorial point for this dipole. Okay, now here you can see that plus q charge is at A and minus q charge is at B. Now electric field at P due to A, electric field at P due to A, it is directed along PN. EPA, it is directed along, this is N. Okay, so this is directed along this direction. So electric field at P due to A is directed along PN. Fine. And electric field at P due to B is directed along this direction. Now this is the perpendicular distance x, this is the perpendicular distance. Okay, now we can resolve these two electric field into its components. So this is along this direction, we have EPA cos theta. Along this direction we have EPA sin theta. This is cos theta, EPA cos theta, and this is EPA sin theta. And this can also be resolved into two. So this is EPB sin theta and this is EPB cos theta. EPA cos theta and EPB cos theta, they are equal and opposite, so they will cancel the effects. So net electric field will be along this direction and due to these two components, that is EPB sin theta and EPA sin theta. So mathematically we will see this, how we will do the expressions and how we will solve the expressions. This is distance x, this is 2a, and this distance will be root over of a square plus x square. By Pythagoras theorem you can easily find it out. So let us see the mathematical expression for this. So EPA, electric field at P due to A, is kq upon root over of a square plus x square to the power whole square. This will be along Pn. Fine. And electric field at P due to B will be equals to minus kq upon root over of a square plus x square whole square along PB. So net electric field will be EPA sin theta plus EPB sin theta. So it is nothing but 2 EPA sin theta. If we will take only the magnitude, if we will take only the modulus of this value, so it will be 2 EPA sin theta. While taking the modulus, we omit the negative sign. So it is 2 into QQ upon root over of x square plus a square. Okay. So what is sin theta? Value of sin theta is a upon root over of a square plus x square. Fine. Next, so E net will be putting the value of sin theta in this expression, 2 kqa upon x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2. Okay. Also we know that dipole moment P is equals to 2qa, that is charge into the perpendicular distance between the two charges. So E net will be, we have substituted this value to qa as P. So E net will be kp upon x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2. Now again we will see that if x is very large, so E net will be equals to kp upon x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2, and we can omit a here in this expression. So we'll find out it as E net as kp upon x square to the power 3 by 2. Okay. Next step we'll see E net is equals to kp upon x to the power 3. So here also we can see that electric field at equatorial point is inversely proportional to the cube of distance of that point from the dipole, and it is also directly proportional to the dipole moment. So for both the things, means for axial point and for the equatorial point, this electric field intensity is inversely proportional to the cube of the distance of the dipole from the point and the dipole moment of the dipole. So if you compare the expressions that we have got from the electric field due to dipole at an axial point and equatorial point, we'll find that twice of electric field at equatorial point is equal to the electric field at the axial point. Now let us see what happens when a dipole is there in a uniform electric field. So whenever a dipole is there in a uniform electric field, it experiences a torque. So torque you have already studied in class 11th. What is a torque? So torque is a force in rotational motion, right? So dipole in a uniform electric field, it experiences a torque. Torque is a force in rotational motion. So here you can see in this diagram. So consider a uniform electric field. This is blue lines. They are showing the uniform electric field from positive to negative, denoted by E. Okay, and a dipole separated by 2a distance. So this is a dipole at positive charges at A and negative charges at B. They are separated by a distance 2a. It is making an angle theta with the electric field. So with the electric field, this dipole is making an angle theta. Now force on each charge due to this electric field will be. So we'll find out the force on these two charges due to this electric field. So force on charge at A, this is plus Q at A. So we'll write it as FA. So FA will be equals to Q into E, and this will be directed along the electric field only. Okay. Now force on charge at B. Force on charge at B can be written as FB is equals to EQ, but it will be opposite to E. So this is, suppose that this is a dipole, and at this position plus Q is there, and at this position minus Q is there. So these lines of electric field, they are starting from positive to negative. So this force experienced by a charge at this point, it is along this direction, so it tries to hit it like this. The force tries to acts on this part, and at this point it acts towards this direction, towards the positive charge, and here it acts towards the negative charge. So it tends to rotate this. So this type of equal and opposite charge, it tends to rotate this. So this is how the torque is produced in the dipole. So the net force acting on this dipole, so net force acting on this dipole is 0, right? But since the line of action of force is different. Here line of action of force is this, and here line of action of force is this. So since the line of action of force is different, so a torque is produced. So what is torque? Torque is force into the perpendicular distance. So this is first force, this is second force. So this is force, equal forces are acting. So F. So torque is equals to F into displacement. What is the displacement actually? Displacement is the distance. And if this is angle theta, then what will be the value of this displacement AC? It will be 2a sine theta. What is sine theta? Sine theta is equals to perpendicular upon base, hypotenuse. So what is perpendicular? Perpendicular is AC and hypotenuse is 2a. So what will be AC? AC will be equals to 2a sine theta. So torque can be written as force into perpendicular distance. What is perpendicular distance? Perpendicular distance is AC. So torque can be written as force is EQ into 2a sine theta, or we can write it as torque is equals to PE sine theta. We have replaced 2a into Q by P as a dipole moment. P is equals to 2a into Q. Fine. So we have written torque is equals to PE sine theta. Earlier when you have studied vectors in your 11th class, so PE sine theta can be written in the cross product form. So torque is equals to P cross E. Now what will be the condition of maximum torque? So maximum torque will be when theta is 90 degree. Okay, sine theta's maximum value is 1. So sine theta will be 1 when theta is equals to 90 degree or pi by 2. And minimum torque will be when torque minimum means torque is 0. So minimum value we can get when sine theta is 0 degree. Okay, so we'll get minimum torque or torque is 0 in this case. And condition when theta is very very small. So sine theta will be close to theta's value only. Sine theta will be approximately equal to theta. So in this case we can write torque is equals to PE theta. Okay, next also we'll go to the concept of torque that we have studied in class 11th. This will help you out to solve the numericals also. So here you can see that torque is I into alpha. What is I? I is moment of inertia and alpha is the angular acceleration, right? So here we have found that torque is equals to PE sine theta for the case of sine theta being very small. Okay, or theta being very small. So sine theta is approximately equal to theta. So tau will be equal to PE theta. Also in class 11th you would have seen torque is equals to is the product of moment of inertia and angular acceleration. So here you can see torque is equals to I alpha. I is moment of inertia and alpha is the angular acceleration. So we'll put the value of tau from here. So tau is equals to I alpha is equals to PE theta. Now alpha is equals to PE theta upon I. Also we know that angular acceleration is equals to omega square theta. Now in place of alpha put omega square theta in this equation. So omega square theta is equals to PE theta upon I. So omega is equals to root over of PE upon I. So time period you all know that it is 2 pi upon omega. So time period is equals to 2 pi root over of I upon PE. So this expression is useful for the numericals. Next is uniform electric field. So in uniform electric field what happens if a dipole is there? So force acting on the dipole, net force acting on the dipole is 0, but torque is not 0. And in non-uniform electric field, force is also not zero, torque is also not zero. Okay, now we learn about electric flux. So electric flux is nothing but it is the total number of electric field lines crossing per unit area. Now here area is very important, orientation of area is very important. Let us see why. See, in this diagram you can see these blue lines, these are electric field lines, and this is area A. You can imagine a plate for this. So you can see here how many electric field lines are passing through this area. 4 electric field lines are passing through this area. Now if we change the position of the plate, that means if we change the orientation of the plate, let us see in the next figure. So here you can see only 3 electric lines are passing through this area. So earlier there were 4 electric field lines passing through this area when the orientation of the same plate was like this. But when we have changed the orientation, lesser number of electric field lines are crossing or passing through this area. Now further, if we change the orientation of this area again, here in this figure you can see no electric field lines are crossing this area. No electric field lines are crossing this area. Okay, so orientation is very important when we are dealing with the electric flux. Electric flux is denoted by phi. This is how electric flux is denoted, and mathematically it is the product of area and component of electric field normal to area. So here this is, in this figure you can see this is an area and we are considering a small area ds. This is normal to this area. Okay, and along this normal we have component of this electric field E cos theta. Now how we will mathematically write it? Mathematically it can be written as phi is equals to, this is the component of electric field normal to the area and this is the area. So E cos theta dot ds, or we can write it in the form of dot product also, phi is equals to E ds. Now cos theta determines the orientation of area, means which area we are taking and in which direction. And this electric flux is a scalar quantity, as we are only finding out the number of lines. Its SI unit is Newton meter square per coulomb, and what will be the flux for closed surface? Flux for a closed surface is written like this. Integration for a closed surface is denoted like this. This is how we will write for expression for closed surface for finding out the flux. Then flux for electric field normal to area. So phi is equals to E dot ds. So E dot ds, writing it in this form, in the component form. So E ds cos theta. Then if electric field is normal to the area, then theta will be equals to 90 degree and cos 90 is 0. So flux for electric field normal to the area is 0. Next is Gauss law. So Gauss law, according to this law, total electric field flux over a closed surface is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Okay, so suppose total flux, electric flux over the surface, over the closed sphere. So we are considering this closed sphere, and inside this sphere there is a plus q charge. So total electric flux over closed sphere, it is equal to phi. it is equal to E dot ds by the definition of flux. So phi will be equal to E dot ds. It is equals to Q upon epsilon naught according to this Gauss theorem. What is Q? Q is the charge enclosed by the surface of the sphere. So mathematically we can write it as E dot ds is equals to Q upon epsilon naught. In the next video we will see the proof of Gauss law. Thank you.